Hi everybody, my name is Andy Pliska with South Bay Trike, otherwise known as Trike Andy. Today I'm going to show you how to change an 8.5 inch tire, change the tube. There's been a lot of people having a little hard time with it, but with a couple of little quick tricks it'll make it nice and easy. So without further ado, let's take a look. This camera set up properly at what we got here. So here's a standard 8.5 inch rim. Here is a pony rim. You can see that the rotor's not on here, but it's the same size. You can see same size. Now, on the pony rim, you'd get a tire like this. This is the 9.5 by 2.5. Extremely heavy-duty tire, whereas this one's got a little bit more flex in it. So there's a couple of options that you can do. One of the first things you want to do is get the air out, right? So get yourself a handy-dandy little tool or something to make sure you get all the air out. Squeeze it out, and this will make sure that it's nice and easy. And then I use something called silicone spray. What's nice about the silicone spray is it's going to lubricate this and it'll evaporate. So I'm in the shop here and it's a nice airy place. So I'm just going to take a little spray here, and you can see I'm just going to put a little bit in the bead. Okay, and you can even do this while it's actually on the vehicle. You know, while it's still bolted up, deep pressure it so that you can get in there. That way you can spin the tire, right, and just go and get a little bit of spray in there. So now I've only sprayed the one side. I can also at this point, let's put a little juice on the other side. And I'm not putting a lot. Make sure you don't spray yourself and get yourself hurt. So one of the first things I'm going to do is you'll notice that when in this rim and in this rim, you can see that there's a little bit of a V here. And there's a bead, this bead right here, that I'm going to squeeze together like that to get it to drop in the bead so that I get an advantage of moving the other side further up. And this is what I mean. So actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to start at the valve side. And when I squeeze this together, you can see that I'll have the opportunity to get it close to that V and push some of this up. I'll take my tool, and you can see that there's a little edge on this nylon lip. So when I squeeze it together, I'm going to stick it in and hold it over the lever, right? And be careful because it'll slip right off like that, and you want to make sure that you get a good hold. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my thumb, and maybe for the ladies that a thumb there's not enough strength there, and you can put your palm on it. But the idea is I want to keep this edge over the side, because if I keep going, what will happen is it will just follow it. You see how it wants to follow the track? So what I want to do is hold the bead up against that side. The next thing I'm going to do, remember this is all slick now, is I'm just going to push away from me. You notice that I'm pushing away. I'm not trying to pull on like this, and I'm not holding this tool rather weird. Got my thumb on it, and I'm pushing away from my body. All right? Next thing, I'll get the tube out. And then when I go to get the rest of it, you can see that I can still stuff this into the V right there. And I can pull just a little bit of edge. I'm actually elongating the tire so that I can get this edge here. And then I'll take this lip part, excuse me, and I'll stick it in like that so that now you can see that it's kind of wedged in there, got a little piece. Then I'll just kind of pull this apart. So how do I get it back on? I still have a little slickness onto this. So at this point, I don't even need the tool. What I can do is I'm taking the rim and put in my fingers. You see how I'm grabbing the rim here? I place the tire in the palm of my hands and get one little edge into the bead, right? Now all I am doing is squeeze it around. Look at that, it just popped right on. It's already in there, right? Then I could take my new tube, real simply. Take my new tube, go ahead and at this point stuff the tire. Right? Like you're stuffing a turkey. Go ahead and manipulate the valve around. Now, I've got big fingers, so you can see that sometimes it's somewhat of a challenge for me. But you got to manipulate it in. And then at this point, I can take my little valve cap here and just put it on so that when I go to put the rest of this tire on, it doesn't slip through. Don't try and put the inner tube, once you put this, don't try and put it on this side because you'll never get it underneath the bead here. So now, all I have to do is pull this bead back over, again, get my fingers, see, underneath here, and start walking it around. Now, if this is still a little too hard, at this point, I'm going to You see how I'm rolling my palm around, right? I'm still keeping this stuffed into here. And now I can grab this tool and I'll hold it more like a dagger, and you can see that I'm rolling this inward. And basically I'm going to come into here, and again, you notice that I'm pushing away from my body when I do this, right? Pushing away, but I want to make sure that this isn't following around and start chasing. So you can see my hand is staying there. Keep going. Now I'm running into, you see what's happening right here is I'm running into this valve because it's in my way. So I can actually come from the other side now. Now if you're right-handed or left-handed, that may be a problem. And you can see I'm running into a little jam there because I ran up across this. So what I'll do, I'm right-handed. I want to get it a little closer. Right? Maybe put a little bit more slickness on there. Make it nice and easy for me. All right? Go ahead, grab my tool, hold it like a dagger. And get it to come down. Now it's dropped in there. When I go to pressure this up, what'll also be nice about it, when I go to pressure it up, since I still have a little bit of slick feel on there, when this pressure's up, it will seek its center. So that way I'll know that it's pressured up exactly and centered right where I want it to be. So real quick, I'm going to show you how to do the heavy duty tire since we're here. This thing is a brick. Okay, so I'm going to take a little silicone, right? Get some just on the bead, right? I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to hold my rim, right? Now this is directional, so depending on which side the rotor is, remember, on the left side the rotor's on the inside, on the right side the rotor's on the inside. So depends on which way you're going to point the treads here. So let's assume this is the right one. Again, I'm going to pull it into there. You see it just dropped right in there, right? Go ahead, stuff the tire in there. Now you saw how this has got a little bit of air in it? That's going to make it a little bit more difficult for me to try and get this rim in. So I do want to make sure that I expel as much of that air as possible. Again, pull this down. This is going to be a little bit more of a challenge for you guys, so I'll just tell you that right now. All right, in an effort to save time. So, pulling down, again. See how much of a booger this one is, right? So for you pony owners, you know you have a battle on your hands. Squeeze it down in there. Pull that rim up. Notice that I kept my hand here, chasing it. I keep my hand like a dagger. And now we've got the tire rim on. So you can see this was very helpful. If I didn't have this, it would be a pain in the butt to do this. Again, just real quick, how does it come off? I find the valve end. I didn't put the valve in just for example. I'm going to squeeze this in. This is going to be a little harder to do. If you take a look at the motor video, you'll see. Squeeze this together. Again, I'm coming over the edge. I got to make sure my hand's here. So when I start pushing this forward, you see how quickly it wants to jump out? I have to use some force. And there you go, right? Pull the tube out. Quick away. Out the tube comes. Maybe. Okay, same thing. Remember, I pushed it down to get as close to that V or that little lowest pot. You can see it sticking out a little bit. I'm going to take the tool, stuff it in there. You got to use a little bit of force. I usually like to try and get on top of it. gal. You pony owners are going to have a great time with this on your own. And there you go. So, that, in a nutshell, is how you change a tire. I'm Trikke Andy. You can check out my blog, trikeandy.com. You can check us out at South Bay Trike, and of course we're also on Facebook at the South Bay Trike Zone. I'm Trikke Andy. This is how you change a tire, and I will see you around the next turn. Peace.